Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
We are listening.
Yes, we are supposed to do something. I think we are discussing on what we know about CPC. Hello.
We are listening.
Yes, so we are we discussing on what we know about CPC?
We are done with the discussion.
Okay.
Yes, so we are back to the plenary, the main group.
Hello. Welcome back.
Thank
Welcome back to the plenary.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Daktari.
Awesome. Okay, I heard some of you are taking a lot of time to settle down. But next time, because we'll be doing this every day, we'll be going for breakout rooms. Please, when you get to the breakout rooms, don't take a lot of time wondering what to do. Straight on, let's get one of you becoming a leader very fast so that you make use of the 10 minutes maximum. Peer learning is very important when it comes to TPD. The more you discuss, the more you learn. Yeah.
Oh,
a lot of
thank you.
learning that will happen when you learn from your colleagues. Okay, thank you very much. Allow me now to invite you again back to the plenary. I want to start with group 10. Group 10. Yeah, group 10. Group 10, people who are in group 10.
Please, Daktari.
Yes.
You can unmute us.
I unmute or unmute all of you.
Unmute all of us.
Mute. Okay, I have muted. Now, whoever is supposed to speak to unmute themselves. Somebody from group 10. Group 10, who was to represent you? Unmute yourself.
I hope I'm not in group 10. Mine was 11.
Okay, group 11. Christine, let's continue.
Okay, we had a number of participants giving us what they know, what they want to know, and what they have learned. I want to summarize what different participants gave for what they have learned. One, they learned that the meaning of CBC in full is competency-based curriculum. They also know that the system of education has changed from 844 to CBC, so that CBC has PP1 and PP2, then grade 1 to 3, where the first exam is done, then grade 4, 5, 6, another exam, then they will proceed to grade 9 up to 12. They also know that it's not parents. It also helps it helps parents to help the children. It also imparts skills to learners, practical skills, where learners learn from the environment. They learn from what they see and hear. Somebody also gave us what he knew. It is a learner-centered approach to learning. And then it targets 3 participants: teacher, learner, and parent. What they know, what they want to know. I've summarized what we said we know. What we want to know, what we want to know is exactly how they are going to be assessed in secondary school. At least the primary one is going on. How the assessment is going to take place in secondary school, that is continuous assessment and NEC assessment. Another person wanted to know how they will be selected to secondary schools. Somebody also wanted to know about the future employment of these learners. Somebody wanted to know how they will choose their careers, and if if there are people, if career guidance and counseling in career has been put in place to prepare them for career choices. Somebody wanted to know how they shall be transformed, how this CBC shall transform these children in their later careers. I think that's a repetition. What is learned, please? What is learned? Learners to be the role models. It helps the learners. It's a good curriculum that is from relying on white-collar jobs to be self-employed. So the learners can be independent even in employment. It also, somebody also learned that that this curriculum is helping the children to get the help from parents. While this other curriculum was child-centered, this one gives the parents opportunity to give their children attention. So it is a combination of parent, teacher, and learner in the learning process, which was very good. Time cast as short as we were going to other learned things. Thank you very much.
That was amazing. Thank you, my namesake. Yeah, you really did a lot of work. That is very good. Now, those who cannot hear, don't worry. We will be sharing this link. Our meeting is live. It is online. Anybody with the YouTube link is following. So you can be sure everything that we are sharing is going a long way to help many, many, many other teachers in the country. Okay, let's go to group 7. Group 7, I had you really have a very nice discussion. I visited your room, though you didn't see me. Group 7, who is representing your group?
I am.
Yes, thank you, Sylvia. Continue.
Thank you. We discussed what we learned. So what we want, what we know, what we want to know, and what we have learned. On what we know about CBC, we said that it nurtures learners' talents. Then we know that it is child-centered. We also said it emphasizes on national values and it enhances creativity. Then, hello? Hello?
Continue, we are following.
Okay, thank you. Then on what we want to know, what I want to know, members wanted to know how it will solve the problem of job, or rather of looking for jobs. Then we also want to know how the placement to junior secondary is going to be. Learners also, participants also wanted to know who is going to teach these learners once they go to junior secondary. Another member wanted to know how pragmatic is this CBC going to be when it comes to the implementation because of the many resources required to implement. Then another member also wanted to know how will the placement to the junior secondary will be done, which criteria are they going to use. Then we also wanted to know what to do on the too much parental involvement, because we said there is a challenge. Sometimes some parents are illiterate. How do we do it, or rather how will it going to be? Then another member wanted to know how to come up with the schemes of work for CBC. And finally, another one wanted to know whether the curriculum has been rolled out for the junior secondary. Then what I have learned, we said it is learner-centered. Secondly, it enhances innovation and creative thinking. Third, it emphasizes on acquisition of skills as opposed to rote learning. Another one, it is concept-based, and this one helps in building aptitudes of the children. Finally, the assessment is both summative and formative. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you very much, Group 3. We will appreciate all of you at once. Don't worry.
Okay.
I can see people are really appreciating the presenters. That is very good. Because I didn't do this for the first one, I will not do that for the second one until we are all done. Group 3, where are you? Group 3, where are you? Unmute yourself.
Give us group 8, if it's okay, madam.
Okay, it's okay, Philemon. Continue, group 8.
Okay. Thank you so much. In group 8, we went through a lot, although we took a little bit of time settling in because the first time we went into other groups and then came into that second group. But we still did something. Now, on the task we had, one, I know, this is what the members presented. One, they say that CBC is practical. Two, CBC takes care of every child with different, even those with different abilities, those with disabilities and the likes. Three, CBC emphasizes the complex outcomes of the learning processes. Four, CBC enhances knowledge and pedagogical skills of the 21st century learner and citizen. Fourthly, CBC is learner-centered. The previous presenter also talked about that. I don't want to go into that too much. I want to move on to what I want to know as a learner. Here we say that CBC, what I want to know about CBC is how practicable it is for learners to transit to the secondary section. Someone wanted to know that, how practicable it will be for learners to transit to the secondary section. Two, another one wanted to know who will teach the CBC learners. Is it secondary school teachers or primary school teachers? The other one wanted to know about whether CBC changeover, the transition, is going to be 100%. That is, all the learners will move on to secondary, or some of them will remain behind, or whether or not. The other one wanted to know about how CBC, the implementers of CBC will get the infrastructure to work. That is pointing out instances where there are schools without electricity, many students and parents who may not be able to access mobile phones and things like that. How the technology would be integrated into the learning process. This was a major concern to some of our participants. Some were even saying that the gadgets that we have in the schools, in primary schools, some gadgets are not working, the solar systems are not working, electricity is not there. So how this will be made to work is a big concern. Last but not least, we looked at what we learned from the presentation. Someone said that CBC is a radical shift from the teacher-centered knowledge dissemination process to learner-centered knowledge creativity kind of learning process. Secondly, the centrality of ICT in the learning and teaching process is really brought out in the CBC curriculum. That is what Vinny said. Thirdly, CBC takes care of all learners, even the disabled children. A repetition somewhere, but it is okay. Fourthly, CBC gets to help to nurture the talents of learners as opposed to the 844 system. This is what one member CBC gives advantage to cumulative results over time, unlike the previous system, which just relied on one exam or something like that over a short period of time. CBC, again, it's concept-based. Those were the presentations, those are the declarations that member gave.
Thank you very much. Okay, group one, we will appreciate all of them together. Group one, let us finish with you, assuming that most of our thinking has been shared. Who was in group one? Group one?
Hi.
Yes.
Group one, we didn't really get to discuss much because most of us were really, they didn't know what to do.
Okay.
But we managed to discuss what we want to know.
Yeah.
And what we discussed is that they want to know the process of the grade 6 to grade 7. And then their career choices. And then also how CBC is going to transform in the near future. That is all we need to discuss.
All right, thank you. Now, all of us, let us appreciate the 4 presenters. Let's go to the reactions and let us appreciate all of them from all the 4 groups that have presented, group 11, group 7, group 8, and group 1. And also let us appreciate all of us because we participated in our various groups and did a great job. That was really, really good. Thank you very much. Now, I can see my colleague, Madam Eunice Mugambi, has joined us. Allow me to invite her to just say jambo, then we continue with the lesson. Madam.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Christine. I'm sorry, I have been struggling with the power challenge where I am, but I thank God that I'm in briefly. I hope I'll not be knocked out of network, but I think it's like we have a power challenge, but I'm told after 8, we'll have power continuously. Participants, good evening to all of us. Thank you for joining. I'm seeing we are 236. That is good number. Let us continue running, and thank you for finding time to be with us this good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Eunice. Now, because you are there, I don't know if you can read this case study for all the participants so that we can discuss the questions that follow the excerpt. Madam Eunice? Okay. Madam Eunice probably has got a challenge. Madam Eunice, unmute yourself.
Yeah. Sorry. I was off.
Okay. So read the excerpt for all of us so that we follow.
Okay. Just this is the case study 2, where we are expected to read the excerpt below and respond to the questions that follow. Factors influencing adoption of competence-based curriculum reforms in Kenya, a case study of the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, Nairobi, by Nyawera Mushera, Penina, 2018. The study's objective was to determine factors influencing CBC reforms in Kenya. The study was undertaken at KICD, Kara area, Nairobi. The objective of the study is to establish the effect of youth unemployment concerns, life scale considerations, and national development goals are influencing the ongoing CBC reforms being undertaken by the Kenya government through the through KICD. The study sought to answer the study's questions that guided data collection related to the specific objectives. This study is significant in that it could justify the need for a curriculum reform now. The research design was descriptive design. This research is justified in that it helps the research questions. Analysis of the information gathered employed both descriptive and inferential techniques. Findings indicated that youth unemployment concerns, life skills considerations, and the national development goals significantly influence the adoption of CBC reforms. There was a positive relationship between youth unemployment, life skills education, national development goals, and the adoption of the competence-based curriculum reforms in Kenya. The study recommended a collaborative approach involving all stakeholders to ensure the adoption does not suffer the same fate as the soon-to-be replaced 844 system. The study also recommended adequate government support through adequate funding, training of teachers, and equipping of schools. Question number 1, identify some challenges facing the 844 that were identified by the study. 2, discuss the impact of those challenges on the overall development of the country. Oh, sorry. I'm not able to read the next
development. Overall development of the country.
Okay.
Discuss the impact of those challenges on the overall development of the country. Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Eunice. Now, let us just look at what has been shared in this excerpt. What are some of the challenges facing the 844 that were identified in this study? Let us use the chat. Let's have some of you raise up your hands so that you unmute yourself and speak to us. Timothy Onserio, unmute yourself. Go ahead. Okay, Sister Rachel Kariti.
Hello, I have identified from the extract that there was a problem, or there's a problem with youth employment, that is not achieved with the 844. Also, the emphasis on the goals of education is not well reflected in the 844, and therefore the new curriculum is supposed to look at that, and then the life skill considerations. I think that's what I'm able to get from that.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. Someone else? Put up your hand. Raise up your hand virtually so that you can speak. Edith Nabiswa, you want to speak?
I have just joined.
Okay.
But I think I know one of the challenges of 844, which is 844 was so exam oriented. And that is what CBC tries to solve.
Thank you very much. Maybe then we look at the second question. What is the impact of the challenges that Sister has just shared on the overall development of our country? In other words, what will go wrong if we continue living with those challenges? Let's have people raising up their hands and unmuting themselves.
Maybe, Dr. I can read the responses that are coming up via the chat box.
Thank
that 844, no much emphasis on the talents of the learners, high crime rate among youth. 844 is examination oriented, and those were the previous responses. But I can see Millicent says that there will be high crime rate among youth, and this is maybe because of lack of job opportunities. Youth employment, lacking skills, economic decline, high wastage. 844 is teacher-centered.
Thank you, Maureen Juma.
And finally, we have lack of involvement of all stakeholders. Less skills and knowledge were gained by the learners.
Thank you. Okay, let's have Maureen Jumba now giving us her feedback.
Yes, Daktari.
That is my teacher.
Yes, this is your teacher.
Yes, my high school teacher. I'm so happy to see you here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say, the number of students who are not who don't transit to the next level is very high. So you find in most cases we would have few students getting to the university, then the rest, nobody would bother about them. So would have a very high dropout rate.
Awesome. Thank you very much, my teacher, my great teacher. And then we have Celestine Obuya. Unmute yourself. Yes, continue.
The SDGs shall not be met now that the global standards of education needs to be raised. So there is a need to fill that gap by CBC.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Madam Eunice, do we have any more responses on the chat?
Jane Geshangi says there was inadequate funding and training of teachers on preparedness. Esther Wamboi says, since it is not a holistic approach, there will be unemployment, high crime rate, and low production in form of jobs, high wastage of learner, major challenges a country. We have stagnated development, does not encourage creativity among students, and learners can do something great outside classroom. The community and the parents who are not fully involved. 844 system teacher-centered and exam-oriented, loss of interest in schooling. Dorina says 844 makes people to expect white-collar jobs. High dependency ratio, talent not discovered and exploited. There was no creativity among learners. Focused on bright learners. There will be a lot of resource wastage, not learning, no innovation, etc.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. And so you can see we already know what we are talking about. So we are not going to take a lot of time to really re-emphasize the things that you already know. We will look at a few things on what CBC is all about. And now it is important because I know not all of us really understand what CBC is all about. And not all of us have been taken through the various learning sessions on CBC by the Teacher Service Commission. And so it is important first to ask ourselves, what then is this CBC? Why are we talking about CBC? The competency-based curriculum. Now, from just the word competency, what is it? Yeah, what is it? We are talking about the ability to apply appropriate knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values to successfully perform a task. That is what a competence is. That somebody is able to make use of what they know, what they believe in, and also do the things that they know using the right attitude and the appropriate values. Now, our competency-based curriculum is prescribed on the belief that everybody, we are all lifelong learners. I've just talked about my teacher, yeah? My teacher is also learning. So we are all lifelong learners who continually accumulate knowledge and require to apply this, whatever we are doing or whatever we know, by doing something, showing that we have mastered some skills for us to produce a result that can be seen by everybody. Now, in our competency-based curriculum, skills attainment and learning are emphasized. That it doesn't just end at knowing. That just doesn't end at the head. That you have gone to class and you have impacted knowledge, and at the end of it all, this child is ready to reproduce the knowledge in an exam, and that is it. We are saying that beyond the impacting of knowledge, that this child or this student is able to bring it down through the heart, yeah? Appreciate the importance of knowing what they are learning, and by so doing, they go down and do something, yeah? And apply the knowledge by doing something that can be seen. In essence, something that can respond as a solution to a real life challenge. So in CBC, we will be talking about real life. Now, what are the characteristics of the competency-based curriculum? The competency-based curriculum has specific measurable competency that you are able to see that for sure, this child is able to spread his bed. This child is able to cook a meal. This child is able to sing this song. You know, content based on learner outcomes, yeah? It is more about what can the learner do? What can we see out of the learning? What can the learner do? Today I was going around some schools in Kajiado, and I got into this one school where the learners of grade 5 are able to express themselves and tell us what they want to become, they don't stop there. They go ahead to tell you what that career is all about and why they want to become that. You know, that is exactly what we want in CBC. We are saying that another characteristic of CBC is continuous learner involvement until mastery, that these learners are able to continuously do things until they are able to do it on their own, yeah? The aspect of self-efficacy, that they are now confident enough to do things on their own. They are able to use a variety of instructional strategies as teachers. When we are taking learners through CBC, the competency-based curriculum, we don't just use the traditional way of teaching, where you sit in front of the, or you stand in front of the class and it is about you, the teacher, all the time. Now, we are saying we use a variety of instructional strategies. You can, teach, yes, which is okay. You can also go about having the learners sit in groups and discuss. You can have a strategy where you can use peer learning, where learners learn in pairs and they are able to share knowledge and learn from one another. You can also use digital literacy. You can use songs, you know, very many strategies. And then we are saying that CBC focuses on what learners need to know. Yeah, what is important for them to know. It is not just for the sake of knowing. Somebody was making fun that the kind of learning that most of us went through, when you look back, you are like, why exactly was I learning about this? Like, for example, Homo sapiens. What does it have to do with what I am doing right now? You know, so we are saying that CBC focuses on what learners need to know. Yeah, if it is about geography, what exactly is important for them to learn? Yeah, if it is about history, if it's about science and technology, what is it that they need to know that can help them improve their lives in future? Another characteristic is that learners demonstrate mastery of these competencies. Yeah, like I have just given an example of a school where I went. I wish I could get some time so that you listen. I will share this part of this conversation with our group so that you just hear how these young boys and girls are able to explain and express themselves, that they can demonstrate mastery of competencies. When they are talking about the subjects they love, they will tell you that I love mathematics because of this and this and this. When the teacher came to class, they are able to give a real life scenario of what inspired them in a mathematics lesson. So that is what we are talking about. Now, how competency-based teaching approach differs from the traditional based knowledge. This is another article that we are supposed to read, but most of the things that we have already shared are the same things in this article. Now, I will want you to use your smartphone later to just click on this link because we are going to share this at your own time. Read through this article and look at the questions that. Now, we are talking about curriculum reforms in Kenya. Why reforms? Why reforms? Yeah? It is important for us to note that a country's curriculum ought to enhance the achievement of the national goals of education. Now, allow me to mute all of you so that we can minimize on the noise. I will unmute you when I will want you to participate. Now, as I've just said, a country's curriculum ought to enhance the attainment of the national goals of education. Like in Kenya, how many national goals education do we have? Let me see through the chart. How many are they? How many national goals do we have in number? How many are they? Just write the number. 12, 8, 10. 10, 8, 7, 10, 8, 9, 7, 8. Okay. Yeah. 12. Yeah, this is now to tell you that it is possible that some of us are not really sure how many they are. We are going to look at them. It is important that we look at them because the competency-based curriculum is all about the national goals of education. That in all that we are doing, at the end of it all, at the roof, the top of the house, what we have there are the national goals of education. This is essential to ensure that the curriculum addresses the needs of our nation. Now, if we focus on the national goals of education, then the curriculum that we are talking about will be giving us an answer to what exactly is required in our country. We are going to look at this link so that you can remind yourselves of the national goals. So I will stop sharing this so that I can share what I've just opened, the national goals of education. There are eight in number. So I believe after this, nobody will now start wondering, how many are they? How many are they? I hope you are able to see what I have just projected. Are you able to see the national goals of education in Kenya? Let me see through the chat. Are you able to see the national goals of education in Kenya that I've just projected? Somebody say yes, thank you. I just needed that affirmation. So the first one, we are talking about fostering nationalism, patriotism, and promote national unity. Many a times I ask people, what is the very first thing that you do to ensure that your learners are becoming patriotic? And just like all of us, most of us will say, you will have the learners learn the national anthem. That is why we started with our national anthem. And then the question follows, do we ourselves know the national anthem? We will realize that when we start singing the national anthem, we will comfortably sing the first stanza, but the second and third stanza are a challenge to most of us. So what we are saying, can we now go back and start having our learners learn the national anthem, get to understand the words of the national anthem and why we have the national anthem? That is what we are talking about, patriotism. Goal number 2 is on promoting social, economic, technological, industrial needs for national development, yeah? Goal number 3 is to promote individual development and self-fulfillment. Goal number 4 is to promote sound moral and religious values. This is very important. This is just to take us back to remind us some of the things most of us grew up with, that we are able to be responsible citizens right now because the teachers who took us through school enabled us to acquire morals, enabled us to uphold some religious values. For example, when we talk about responsibility, most of us did household chores, did communal activities, communal work, and so we were able to become very responsible citizens. Talk about respect, yeah? When we used to have those matatus where you get in and you sit side by side, and you are a small child or you are maybe younger than another person who will come in after you, what happens? Automatically, you will find yourself standing up. Sound morals. Then goal number 5 is about promoting social equity and responsibility. Goal number 6 is about promoting respect for and development of Kenya's rich and varied cultures. Goal number 7 is about promoting international consciousness and foster positive attitudes towards other nations. And finally, goal number 8 is to promote positive attitudes towards good health and environmental protection. This is holistic. This is about everything that we need our learners to be at the end of it all. This gives you a very responsible, a very ethical, a very empowered citizen at the end of it all. So Google the National Goals of Education and read the insight of what is there. Now to begin with, rather, even as we move on, it is important to talk about the basic education curriculum framework. Now, Madam Eunice, Madam Eunice, are you there? Did I lose you? You again went. Eunice Mugambi, sorry. I think Eunice left. She said she has a challenge. We are out in the field, and wherever we are, sometimes we have a challenge with the network. So when she will join, she will continue. When she will join, she will support me. So what we are doing, we are saying that the basic education curriculum framework guides the implementation of CBC in Kenya. And as such, it addresses various things. In the basic education curriculum framework, we have a vision and we have a mission statement. What is the vision of CBC? What is the mission of CBC? It is in this framework. In the CBC framework, the basic education curriculum framework, we also have the national goals of education. I've emphasized that this is what the end result, that at the end of it all, it's about achieving the national goals of education. And then we also have pillars of the basic education curriculum framework. We have what we call core competencies, and then we have the organization of the basic education. How has it been organized? Already we discussed this when we were talking about KWL. Yeah, from what this level, where do we go? Like that. So I'm going to take you through this so that you understand what we are talking about. Because in CBC, we have these important pillars. We have the values, and then we have the guiding principles, and then we have the theoretical approaches, which are very, very critical, because when you are constructing a house and you have pillars, if one pillar is weak or one pillar is not there, then the possibility of the house crumbling down is very, very easy. So when we talk about the basic education framework, the 3 pillars that make CBC are the values, where we are going to talk about values-based education. And in this values-based education, we have core values that we are emphasizing on, that teachers need to integrate in the process of learning, that when the teacher is teaching whatever content, they are able to bring in aspects of core values to help our learners acquire the values. And we usually say that in most instances, you cannot teach somebody values. You cannot teach somebody to love, but you can demonstrate love, and somebody can acquire the value of love by seeing what you are doing. In other words, we are saying for this to be achieved, role modeling becomes very pertinent. So the vision of CBC is to have an e-child. An e-child means we need an engaged, an empowered, and an ethical child. Now, when we are talking about engaged and empowered, we are talking about core competencies. When we are talking about ethical child or ethical citizen, we are talking about values. Now, what will bring out this is the fact that we need to understand that we have world-class standards that we all need to meet. And if this has to happen through our curriculum, then we need to have excellent teaching. We need to have excellent school environments. We need to have adequate resources. And then the curriculum must be sustainable and visionary. The vision of the basic education curriculum framework, as I've already said, is to have an e-child. In 844, when you talk about this is an e-child, that is a child who has failed. But in CBC, this is the best child that we want. This will be achieved by providing every Kenyan learner with this that I have said, talked about, because they need this, all this in the 21st century. Yeah, they need all this in the 21st century. And in order to do this, there is need to develop us, there's need to develop the teachers who are highly knowledgeable, teachers who can reflect, teachers who are reflective, you are able to connect dots, yeah? Steve Jobs says you cannot connect the dots going forward, you can only connect the dots going backwards. That it is important to reflect. Look at where you have come from so that you are able to know how best to move on to achieve better results. We are saying that we need to develop teachers who are professional, that you are able to do everything professionally. Teachers who possess additional enhanced skills. That it's not just about what I learned in college, yeah? It is about what I learned in college and what else I have acquired after college and what else I can do even without reading books. We're saying we want to develop teachers who are confident in a range of modern pedagogical approaches like coaching, facilitating, learning, and mentoring. In actual sense, we usually say in CBC, we don't teach, we facilitate learning. So teachers become mentors, coaches, and facilitators of learning. They lead the process of learning by facilitating learning. And then we have the mission. We have the mission of CBC. We have the mission of CBC, and the mission is to nurture every learner's potential. Now, when we are talking about nurturing every learner's potential, this is what we are saying. We identify, first get to know that every learner has got potential, and then identify the potential, then nurture the potential of the learner. If you identify the potential of a particular learner, then as a teacher, you can now nurture. And now in CBC, it's about every child, that no child should be left behind. The mission will ensure that no child is labeled a failure at the end of the basic education. So in CBC, like we don't have children who cannot do things, we are saying the learners that we usually call slow learners. Yeah, even now some teachers call some learners, oh, this is a slow learner, this is a slow learner. No, in CBC, we don't have slow learners. In CBC, we actually have learners who take their time to get to where the others are. So we have time takers. So if we have time takers, so the teachers need to identify what these learners are good at and be able to nurture that. Now, who can explain to us? Who can explain to us this? Who knows about this? I want to request one of you to just explain this structure, the structure of CBC, how we are moving. Who can try? Who can try? Just raise up your hand so that I give you the okay to unmute yourself. Jane. Oh, Jane, you don't have a mic. Omari. Omari, please unmute yourself. Omari, unmute yourself. Yes, okay. Ruben?
Okay, there are two pathways.
Yes?
We have special pathway and the regular pathway.
Very good. We have two pathways. Yes.
For the regular pathway, one goes through the normal early primary to grade 3, then grade 9, then senior school grade 10 to grade 12, and then senior school, one has the liberty to, according to competencies, I think, can do arts and sports, can choose social sciences, and the same science, technology, and mathematics. Then one can be able to go to university or a tertiary college, then off to world of work. Going to the second pathway, that is the special needs education, we have foundational level, which carries with pre-primary and grade 1 to 3. Then there is an intermediate level that is equivalent to grade 4 to 6. Then pre-vocational level. Then vocational level and off to the world of work. Thank you. Anna?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope we have followed. He has explained very well that we have two parts. We have the age-based. Age-based means that the children will go to school and move from one level to another, depending on their age. That a child will go to school at the age of 4, not below that. Yeah. Development of the child has it that a child who is going to school below 4 years old, that child will have a challenge when they grow up. So children are supposed to get to school at the age of 4. That is pre-primary 1, then age 5, pre-primary 2, age 6, grade 1, like that. And then we have another pathway for the special needs, as he has explained. At this other side, we have the foundational level, intermediate level, and pre-vocational level. If you look at the arrows in between these parts, there is a double-edged arrow, and there is a single-edged arrow. That tells you that at foundational level, a child can easily move to pre-primary or grade 1, 2, 3, or a child can easily move from the age-based pre-primary or grade 1, 2, 3 to the foundational level. If a child is discovered to be having a challenge at grade 3, they can still be moved to the foundational level, or if a child is found to be okay, as in they don't have serious challenges, they can be moved to this other side. But when a child gets to grade 4, 5, 6, the only way you can move them is from the age-based to the special needs, to the stage-based pathway. And at the end of it all these children will meet at the world of work. So we don't have wastage in CBC. So this gives us the pathways that after middle school, will go to senior school. What are they going to find in senior school? They are going to find these 3 parts. We have arts and sports, science, and then we have social sciences, then we have science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. As you can see from each of these 3, now when they are moving to the next level, they are moving to the next level, they'll have specialized. If they go to the arts and sports sciences, they can either do visual arts, performing arts, or social sports science. If they're going to social sciences, they can do languages, humanities. If they're going to science, technology, and engineering and mathematics, they can do pure sciences, applied sciences, technical and engineering, or careers and technology studies. And then after that, they move to the tertiary level. They can either move to the tertiary level or move to the world of work. So that is how beautiful CBC is. Wow, let's take a break of 2 minutes. In the meantime, you can ask questions on the chat and answer. Let us discuss using the chat. Ask a question and give answers. Yeah, Susan Ochong. I had seen your hand up. You are saying you want to contribute something. Let me allow you during this break. Just say something. Just say something.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine. We are fine. We are fine.
So okay, I just wanted to contribute on what you are talking about.
Yes.
About the age-based career and I've just forgotten. Okay, what I was just talking about is like the learner who is in an age-based, anything can happen to that learner and the learner can move to the other side. An example is like you can fall sick and you become deaf. When you become deaf, you can now move. What is the other base? I'm just forgetting.
Let me just share the screen.
Okay, share the screen. Okay, stage-based. You can move from age-based to stage-based. I was just giving an example. You can fall sick and you become deaf. And you'll now not go to a normal school because you are a deaf child. You'll have to join a deaf school. So that arrow shows one can move from this stage to another stage. Then you start learning. You know that when you move now from this age-based to stage-based, you can start at the foundation level. An example, you now start learning the sign languages. You now move up until where we have the world of work. Now, in stage-based, there's no age limit also. Stage-based learning, there's no age limit. It can be from 4 to 50 or even 50 because you can fall sick at 50 and you move to the stage-based kind of learning. Then also, I just wanted to talk about the age-based also. This is where we have the early year education from PP1, PP2 up to grade 3. Then we move to the middle school education, whereby we have grade 4 up to grade 9. Then after that, we have the senior school. Now, senior school, grade 10 up to grade 12. Learners now go according to their pathways. If it is, and I think schools will be assigned here. If it is social sciences, if it is STEM, this is STEM where we have science, technology, engineering, and maths. Or if it is art, sports, and science, where the learners' talents are nurtured, learners' talents are empowered. Then after that, now we have the tertiary and education. That is all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Susan. That was awesome. I think we have used our break nicely. Thank you very much. Now, allow me to usher in my colleague Eunice to talk about core competencies. Core competencies. Madam Eunice.
Thank you, Dr. Eddie. Participants, good evening once again. Allow me, Dr. Eddie, to share my screen so that I can be able to move with my flow. As I share my screen, I'm not sure whether we will be able to go to our breakaway rooms because I have a challenge with my internet too. I don't know what is happening this evening, but let me hope I'll be able to push through a few slides so that we can move together as a team. I want to believe that our participants from primary school, and I know many a times we have taken them through the CBC reforms, where again we are saying we are looking forward to nurturing all learners' potential, as Dr. had shared previously. Meaning, when we are weighing about the competencies of our learners, we are simply asking ourselves, what are we guiding our learners to accomplish after the end of a given task? And that's why maybe we are saying we are looking at the learning outcomes, which again will be able to tell the skills, the knowledge, and also an attitude that maybe a learner has acquired after the end of a given task, maybe in a given subject area. Within the context of CBC, the curriculum is designed to emphasize the importance of not only developing skills, knowledge, but also applying these to real life situations, where we are again saying, maybe as a teacher, after you have taught a given topic, how can you tell that the learners are able, maybe if it is in a cookery lesson, and maybe you are teaching them, you are guiding them on how to bake. And when you give an activity, you want to confirm how the learners are applying the baking skills that you have taken them through. I want to believe that we are able, all of us, to view my screen. And by observation, kindly let us identify a few competencies that we can say these learners have acquired in undertaking the task that they are being engaged in. Let us engage one another via the chat box. I think it will be faster. Josephat says collaboration, Jane collaboration, Monica citizenship, communication, collaboration, communication, teamwork, responsibility, leadership, unity, love, etc., etc. Kindly let us remember that CBC core competencies are different from our values. We have, of course, the values like responsibility, unity, love, etc. But when we are talking about competencies, we want to define exactly what we can maybe even using competencies on imagination, what these learners are doing. Via our chat box again, I'm sure we can be able to identify the task that these learners are undertaking so that we can guide one another on the competencies that they have acquired. Which task are these learners undertaking? Learning to learn, creativity and imagination. Esther Osolo, thank you very much. We can see these learners are engaged in cleaning a market. And maybe that's why a number of us are able to identify with collaboration and communication competencies. We have 7 core competencies in CBC curriculum. Number 1, communication and collaboration. 2, critical thinking and problem solving. 3, imagination and creativity. 4, learning to learn. Digital literacy, citizenship, and self-efficacy. And via our chat box, I have seen a number of us who are able to identify with those 7 competencies. And we are saying these are the competencies that we are expecting our learners to exhibit after a given task or even having been facilitated at a given level. And when we are talking of communication and collaboration, we are aware that we have learners in our learning institution who got a challenge when it comes to soft skills. We even have grown-ups who sometimes either they become learners even when they're in the middle of other people. And that's why we are saying that through the core competencies on communication and collaboration, learners will be guided so that they can be able to mingle with others, to express their feelings, their views, so that at the end of it all, they will be able to engage one another and even work in a team. The team building activities then will be good to enable learners engage with one another. And through maybe the team building in view of collaboration, they will be able again even to learn communication skills from one another. We have citizenship. Again, we are expecting at the end of it all, the students will show that indeed they are citizens of this country. And we are therefore expecting that our learners will be able to contribute to the quality and sustainability of their communities, environment, and society. Where we are saying that our learners will be able to exhibit the characteristics of a citizenship, we are expecting them, for example, to be able to attach their buried cultural beliefs, maybe to engage in activities that will be able to identify them as Kenyans. Remember, again, many of our students, because of maybe the background that they have been brought up in, they may be students who may not even think globally. Students who are maybe attached only to their local affairs. And we are saying, therefore, we will guide them so that they will be able to feel a sense of belonging, show maybe patriotism and also nationalism, as the citizens of Kenya. Most of us here, I want to believe we are parents, and we have children who are forever very dependent on their parents, and they're never able to solve even the simplest challenges that they encounter. We have learners, likewise, in our schools who cannot think out of the box. And that's why we are saying we will be able to guide our learners through the competence of imagination and creativity to generate new ideas by themselves, where we will be encouraging our learners to be open to new experiences so that they can exhibit creativity in their undertakings. We know many of the times, even as grown-ups, sometimes hardly can we even introduce anything new by ourselves. And maybe through now teaching our learners collectively together, offering equal opportunities to all of them, those who are very creative, they will be able to guide others so that they can learn from one another. And we are therefore saying that imagination and creativity will lead to our learners becoming very active in their engagement when it comes to creativity processes. Learning to learn, again, we are saying, in view to the long life learning to us as facilitators, even our learners will be facilitated to be able now to acquire competencies on wanting to learn, where we will be engaging our learners so that they can apply prior knowledge to new learning experiences. Learners will be able, for example, to organize and effectively manage their own learning and growth. Many of the times, even for us grown-ups, when we have no zeal to learn, either when in a crisis, we may find ourselves even getting lost and other times even getting bored because, again, of lacking the skills of wanting to persist on to learn new ideas. And we are saying the moment our learners will be able to acquire competencies on wanting to learn more and more, they will be motivated learners who at the end will be able to apply the skills that they have been taught. Earlier on, it was mentioned that we are within the 21st century skills. And that's why CBC reforms again aims at enabling our learners acquire digital literacy. We are aware that sometimes even engaging with the new technology in place is a challenge. And that's why sometimes you can be in your house, maybe trying to do something with your smartphone, and it becomes a challenge. The moment you invite a younger person, your child may be young or very young, the child will interrogate your phone, and within a few minutes, maybe we'll be able to solve the challenge that you could be having. We are therefore saying that we want our learners to catch up with the 21st century skills so that, again, they can be able to apply the technology in place. Of course, we are aware that digital literacy, again, will equip our learners effectively so that they will become analytical. They will be able to create new ideas, innovate, and even solving problems that they'll be encountering. And that's why we are saying many a times, let us also be very careful as we engage with the technology. Remember, again, anytime you have any query, even in view to your health, these days, you can easily Google and even get a solution to what you are ailing from. We are therefore saying that our learners will be guided on how to be using technology in a legal, safe, and ethical, responsible manner to support and enhance their learning. Maybe as a facilitator, you'll be doing a lesson via PowerPoint, that it's via acquisition of the technology, and you'll be guiding your learners to be able to engage with the digital literacy competence. The other competence is on self-efficacy, where learners are expected to become self-aware and self-directed, learners who can set and pursue their goals, learners who will be able to be thoughtful, make their decisions without being coerced or even being supervised, and goals-oriented, reliant individuals. Remember, many are the times that we keep on following our learners, maybe to accomplish a given task. But when we set them free, it's like they will be self-directing. Remember, again, human beings are self-directing. And once we engage with our learners, we shall no longer be taking them as children in our classrooms, but they will be learners who can be able to actively decide by themselves what they want to learn and also what they want to accomplish in life. We have the other competence on critical thinking and problem solving, where we are aiming at having learners who can critique even any activity that a teacher maybe guides them to accomplish. Learners will be able to solve their problems, not only when it comes to academic issues, but also issues on handling their life affairs. And with these 7 competencies, we are saying, as much as we keep on awaiting the decision from the task force that we are aware the president has appointed and it is working day and night, we extremely have no reason to say that the CBC curriculum is a challenge. Maybe what will be a challenge to us, maybe, and I'm saying maybe because these are my views, it's where to domicile the junior secondary. Because I'm imagining even in our day-to-day life, we are seeing what is happening. Young couples, within a month, they are separating. Why? Because either they cannot be able to solve very few challenges that they are encountering to make a home. We have learners, likewise, who cannot even wash their own clothes and they're in secondary school, maybe in private schools. And we are saying once we guide our learners through acquisition of these 7 core competencies, at the end of it all, we will be saying that we have no failures in school, but we have learners who can be able to undertake given tasks by using their own potentials. Many of the times, maybe when we are rating even our own children, we are able to identify with the bright learners. But again, we are being reminded here that all learners in our schools have different skills, knowledge, attitudes that they can exhibit. Only that sometimes we do ignore them. Let alone, I will be requesting you to read through the Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. I do not know whether, Dr. Lee, we are supposed to go to breakaway rooms to discuss these activities. I kept on being thrown out of the meeting. I don't know your take about these activities. Kindly guide me so that I can be on board.
Yeah, because we have some time, they can discuss this one. I think it's important. Let them go to breakout.
Without not necessarily moving to the groups, eh?
Yes. Okay,
participants.
Yeah, because we are almost done with the slides. Please let us let them just discuss. It's good because that is the.
At what time are we expecting to end this session?
8:30.
8:30.
Yeah, it's now 7:45.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I don't know whether learners I don't know whether participants you had engaged with this classification of Howard Gardner's, the multiple intelligence theory, where we have the 8 classification of the multiple intelligence theory according to Howard Gardner's. Of course, even as we are teaching in our class, we know we have learners who are very smart when it comes to our environment in view to the natural resources that we see, the nature smart learners who can be able maybe to differentiate between a mango leaf and an orange leaf by just looking at it. We have learners who can be able to tell maybe the interpersonal engagements with their colleagues, they can be able to identify maybe a person who possesses good working relationship, the people smart. We have learners who, of course, are very sharp in adding mathematical or even solving mathematical equations. Learners who sometimes we say they are good also in physics, in mathematics, in chemistry. For the nature smart, those are learners who excel maybe in subjects like geography. People smart, the linguistic, for example. Picture smart, you show a learner a picture of an object, and that learner is able to identify the specific object that you are showing, even at a very early age. We have learners again who have intelligence on self-smart. Learners who sometimes are introverts. Learners sometimes we associate as loners forever. They would wish to undertake a given task alone rather than being in a group. The self-smart learner, opposite of the people smart. People smart, they're able to associate with others easily. We have, again, the learners who are talented, music scale, that it's the music smart, intelligent learners. And of course, we have the word smart learners that you can give maybe a script and they're able to read through, they can even recite, and sharp in languages. Later on, I will be requesting that we engage with these categories so that we can be able even to identify the skills associated with the different categories that we have been given. And in the activity, we are being asked, as a teacher, how can you tell that a particular learner has a particular kind of intelligence? Part 2, identify learning experiences that a teacher can provide to cater for each type of intelligence. We are asking, for example, the learners that we can tell that they have skills on nature, on the learners that we can associate with the nature smart skills. What would we expect them to exhibit? We can do that via our chat box. Field excursion, that it's nature smart, that it's Ruth Anyango. Because we are not in groups, kindly, you can identify with a category, and then, I can see responses are coming. Nature smart, good at cleaning of environment. Thank you, because they want to keep the environment clean. They mind about the environment. Pratina, planting flowers, that it's the nature smart. Ruth Anyango, again, word smart, dictation, they can be able to dictate. They can be able to read in class eloquently, that it's the word smart. Nature smart, work, can be able to work in the garden, can be able These are, I think the responses are coming very fast. I'm even unable to read them through. We have singing, solving problems. Remember again, you are meant to attach an intelligence with a skill that a learner should undertake. People smart, they have good interpersonal relationship. Nature smart, they like watering flowers. What smart again, they engage in debates very well. Music smart, enjoy making music. Picture smart, drawing pictures. Self smart. Mathematical games, that is the number smart. Picture smart, they are good in drawing. I can also see we have a few participants who are raising up their hands. Maybe Dr. Lee, you can give them a second to be able to share what they have. From the chat also, I'm seeing.
Okay, you can unmute. You can call them so that they can unmute themselves.
Okay, thank you. From the chat also, I'm seeing a number asking whether we have shared the registration link.
We are doing so right away.
Am I still sharing my screen?
You are. Yes, you are.
Okay, Jane.
Education nowadays.
While you are eating.
I thought I have.
My father told me, I went at home and it was during time for Corona.
Kindly.
They closed down the school. They said don't report.
Kindly, participants, let us ensure our mics are off so that we can be able to communicate. I had given Jane Gishangi permission to talk. Jane Gishangi, kindly unmute yourself. Jane. Daktari, my internet, it's becoming unstable again. I hope, has Jane spoken?
I'll be able to pick up. If you drop, there's no problem. I'm here standing by.
Okay, thank you. When you read through about Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory, you will be able to read through exactly to how learners and therefore learn differently, can you remember, perform, understand issues that they are being taught in a different manner. And in this theory, again, he advances the view that individuals have different ways of demonstrating intellectual abilities. And that may be explains why even ourselves when we are in school, we used to have learners who are bright in sciences and others in art subjects. And there were those, of course, who are possessing all the intelligence and they were scoring highly in all the subjects. And Gardner identifies 8 intelligences that our learners, or rather human beings, possess. And we were able to say and even identify characteristics of the intelligence as displayed by Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. And we are therefore saying our role again now as teachers will be very key in enabling now learner to build on the intelligence that they will be possessing. And when we were discussing through the pathways again, a learner will identify what he is good at in his early stages so that a teacher again can be able to identify different intelligences which will guide in enabling our learners in senior secondary school to choose the right career path. Remember, again, many learners can be able to integrate multiple intelligences that they do possess in learning, and also at the end of it all, come up with learning outcomes which will indeed confirm that the learners have those competencies. Again, Gardner's scale guides us as teachers to prepare learning activities even as we teach, so that we can be able to guide our learners in telling exactly what they have been able to accomplish after a given task. We are therefore saying with our CBC curriculum, we will be able to tell the our learners will be able to exhibit at every level of learning. And what we are therefore saying is that we will not be assuming that we are receiving learners in a given grade without some knowledge. We are saying we have no failures in our learning institutions, and by embracing the CBC curriculum, we will be able to nurture our learners so that we can offer the guidance that they have to be able at the end of it all to grow or even develop that literal knowledge that they possess. And at the end of it all, they will be able to take the pathway which will enable them either join university, others join the tertiary education, which again will lead to others getting to the job market, while others will be wanting to continue with schooling to universities. I hope, Dr. Lee, you have been able to share the registration sheet. Participants, we are in our group processing, where maybe we can break briefly to our groups so that we can respond to these few activities. That is, we move to our groups and do group processing, where we can share among ourselves one thing that we have learned each and one thing that you have contributed to the group. Initially, I don't know, we were having how many groups, Dr.
Yeah, I want to open them up. There are 11 groups, including the one at the plenary. So just go to your groups again. Already you had a chairperson and a secretary. You can just share one thing you have learned. Don't go to many stories. Allow everybody at least to say one thing they have learned. Okay, thank you. Now I'm opening the rooms.
Thank you, Dr. Participants, let us move to our group so that we can discuss one thing that you have learned and one thing that you have contributed during this session.
Yeah, please join your group. Let us all move very fast to our rooms. It is very simple. Please go to your breakout room. I've allocated each one of you a room. Please just join, click on join, and you'll be in your room. Your colleagues are waiting for you there. They need your contribution. It is just for 10 minutes, then you come back. Please go to your breakout rooms. Okay, those at the plenary, you can form another group. Aquila, please assist me to distribute people to various groups.
Okay.
Please, there is a prompt on your left, Binti, that says...
Excuse me, Dr. Ade, because I can see we have quite a number, I'm seeing we have quite a number of participants in the plenary room. I will suggest maybe they also unmute themselves and do the group processing, because you know, sometimes we cannot tell whether they are still in the room or it's the gadgets that are on. Maybe we can request a few who are in the room.
Yeah, it's okay. They can lead themselves. Yeah, one of them can take lead. One of them can take lead. Esther Wamuyu, please take lead of this group.
Sorry.
Esther Wamuyu, unmute yourself. You lead the group.
I don't know why many of them are asking where they were supposed to click. Remember, participants, when we are moving to our breakaway rooms, you see a message prompting you to move to a given group. And
160, you are too many here. Eh?
This one will not work. Hello?
Yes.
Hello? 160 is a very, very huge number.
Yeah. Why didn't you people join your groups?
Now the pop-up is not there.
Me, I couldn't see any group to join, but now I'm
How
here.
do we join this group?
You're not seeing the prompt message, eh?
Okay, let me try again to assign.
Okay.
Freddy Kayiya, go to 2. Frida Bungone, go to 3. Galaxy, somebody go to 4. Galaxy 5. Owino, go to 6. Grace Washuka, go to 7. Hannah, go to 8. Hannah G, go to 9.
I have not had my name.
I'm still doing that, but you're too many. I might not manage to manage all of you. JK, go to 8. Jen Gishanga, go to 9. Jen Nyamu, go to 10. Not unless I redistribute afresh. But
I think that one will be okay.
But the others are already in the rooms. Let us just discuss. What have you learned?
We discuss
what have you
here.
learned?
We discuss in this in the main class.
Hello.
Who can you? Yeah, just continue so that I can add you a few minutes for you to finish.
Okay. Now, let me take charge of the group.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello?
Thank you very much. Yes. Continue.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are asked to give what we have learned. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Are we there?
We are listening. Yes.
Yes.
We are. I'm listening.
One thing that we have learned. So you say one thing that I have learned. So who will give us anything he or she has learned for today?
I've learned how to go competence.
Pardon?
The 7 core competencies.
The 7 core competencies. I've also learned about the national goals of education, and they are 8. Yes.
I have also learned about. Hello.
Yes.
I have also learned about the Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
We can hear you. Proceed.
Okay, I have learned about the basic education curriculum framework that has got 3 pillars.
Yes.
The value-based education, guiding principles, and the theoretical approaches.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
I've also learned.
Yes.
Hello.
I've also learned.
Yes.
The slow learners in CBC are being called time takers.
Okay, they are now time takers, not slow learners.
Hello.
I have learned very good education.
Hello?
I've also
I have also learned. Hello?
Yes.
I have
Hello.
also learned that in CBC, we do not have learners who are foolish, but instead learners who have different intelligences.
Hello?
Hello, I also learned the basic given curriculum framework.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Can I speak?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Around characteristic of CBC.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
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 Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Clear from
Hello, yeah, there is a lot of values here.
Like,
that
was some discussion in your group.
Hello.
Hello, there are many. We are back to the plenary.
Back to the
We are back to the plenary. Everybody wants to be heard. That is awesome. Madam Eunice?
Migori is here.
Migori is there. My people, Migori, how are you?
I'm fine. Good shape. Rolex Owino himself.
Okay, that is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you very much. After going through the group processing, you know what we are taking you through is exactly how we want you to facilitate learning in class. But at the end of it all, the learners need to get some time to just talk about what they have learned, how they have contributed to the success of the learning process. And that is why we need to have them talk about one thing they have contributed to the group. Probably maybe you put them in groups. It is important for each one of them to find a place in the group, that each one of them had value, or rather added value to the group. So if you are able to say what you did, for example, you appreciated somebody, or you gave answers, or you led a team, that is what goes into group processing. I think now, Madam Eunice, we can look at the reflection so that we are...
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ari. In fact, that is exactly what happens. That many of the times after you are done with your lesson, you do not even gather how much your learners have been able to take. Sorry. I'm in a place. Sorry. Yeah. And it is a challenge to all of us that.
Unmute yourself, Madam Eunice.
Sorry. I was in somebody was shutting the door and I felt that there was much noise. I'm sorry for that. I was just saying that once we are done with our lesson facilitation, it is good to give learners a chance to express themselves and maybe identify what they have learned, what they have contributed to successful lesson that has been completed. Remember, with the reflections on the day, you are supposed to log in to our Kemi virtual campus, where we are expecting that you will undertake this assessment. Remember, yesterday we said we have an assessment that we introduced as an activity where each session will be having a reflection on what you have covered. And we are taking, for example, if it is now what we are seeing, whatever I'm projecting, once you get to the e-learning platform, you will fill in part 1, 2, and 3, meaning then therefore you will be having many activities as a reflection assessment. And because now we have been kindly via the chat box, let us
before you go there, let me just assist the participants, because you know this assessment, this is assessment, and this reflection is the way it is marked out of 15. So when you are talking about what I have learned, look for ways to get the 5 marks, 5 out of 5. What I'm still wondering about, get ways to look for the 5 out of 5, and what I need to learn more about, look for ways to get out of 5 out of 5. For example, I learned that. What are you going to put there? To get 5 out of 5 of what you just you learned, just provide correctly stating the session topic. It's very important. Describe the relevance of the topic. Then illustrate how it applies in real life situation, and then use an example. If you give an example, of course, you are getting to a point of getting your 4 marks out of 5, or even 5 out of 5. If all these attributes are there, you score 5 out of 5 straight away. You miss any of these, you lose a mark or 2. So make sure you are stating the topic, the session topic correctly, and describe how relevant it is to your learning or to what you're doing as a teacher or an instructional leader. Then illustrate how it applies to real life situations, and also give an example. So Madam Eunice, you can continue and finish up. Madam Eunice, did she drop? Sorry, Madam Eunice, I think we lost her. Allow me to
Excuse me, Malimo.
Yes.
The last statement I did follow. Can you please repeat it? The last aspect you were telling us about.
I was saying,
yes.
Yeah, when you're doing your reflections, remember this is assessment. You will have a reflection, you will have a final synthesis, and you'll have a portfolio to write, So when it comes to reflection, make sure you are looking for the 15 marks for each reflection. So each reflection is marked out of 15, and eventually we will get the mean of what we'll have scored in all the reflections in this in this module. So what you do when you are talking about what I have learned, to get all the 5 marks out of 5, state correctly the session topic, describe how relevant it is, illustrate how it applies to real life situations, and also give an example. So if you do that, then you can be sure you will get your marks right. What you wonder, or what you are still wondering about, should be related to what is in the session content, well articulated and explained using an example. to show a gap. And then what you want to learn should be related to what is in the session content, setting some missing gaps, and giving a unique example that can be used to improve the course. So if you do that, you get 15 out of 15. So every day, at the end of every day, do your reflections on the virtual campus. If you're not doing immediately, write them somewhere so that when you get time, you go to the virtual campus and respond to your reflection.
Excuse me, Daktari.
Yes.
Kindly, we have a problem in when we want to log into the virtual campus. It has really been a big challenge, especially today. So I don't know what we can do to get to log in.
Now, let me give you a number here because our ICT support officer is here with us, Mr. Aquila. Maybe you need to write down this number. Somebody to write it on the chat for everybody to copy. Mr. Aquila is very good and very fast and very quick. When you have a challenge, 0724 86 5044. 0724 86 5044. Aquila will help you very fast and you'll be happy to learn. He's a very good officer who can help you in many ways. So don't shy away from calling him, and please call him during working hours. That is okay?
Yes,
okay,
it is okay.
It's okay.
Aquila, please say hi to the team. Mr. Aquila, please say hi to the group.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yes.
Hello. I have a problem.
Yes.
The problem is about the time. Some of us are working in areas where from 5 to now it's seriously raining and it's very difficult to follow the program.
So don't worry, we have recorded this training on YouTube. If not this, there is another cluster that will be recorded. So we will always share the YouTube links. When you have time, just go through, just listen and follow what happened in the session. We are trying as much as possible to ensure that we are leaving no one behind.
Okay.
Excuse me, Malimu.
Yes,
yes, I will just go on what you said. For the reflection, for the first one, you quote the topic, then you talk about how relevant the topic is, and then you use it. You talk about it, how you use it in your classroom, and give an example. Is that fine?
Yes, that is very fine.
Okay, thank you.
Registration form, please.
Registration form, Aquila, resend the registration form. Okay, I think now we've come to the end. We've come to the end of our session today, and thank you for actively participating and giving us ample time. We don't want to go beyond 8:30. If you have any challenge, yes.
This is Robert, and I'm just kindly asking if there are notes either in the Kemi campus or they'll be posted here. Thank you.
The notes are already there. The notes are already on the virtual campus. Remember, this is a catch-up class. So the notes are already on the virtual campus. When you reach out to Mr. Aquila, he will be able to help you navigate through the virtual campus.
Thank you.
And get all the notes. Yeah, thank you. So can we have one person praying so that we rest for the day? Who wants to pray? Okay, Jennifer, please can mute yourself and pray. Jennifer, unmute yourself and pray. The rest of you remain muted.
Thank you.
Okay, Jennifer, wait a bit. Let me mute everyone. And then you raise up your hand, I give you the rights. Jennifer, raise up your hand. I'm looking for you. Aquila, can you see Jennifer? Where am I losing you? Nakupata unapotea. Okay, unmute yourself, Jennifer. I've given you the rights.
I'm okay.
Yes, pray.
Okay, thank you. God, our creator, we thank you and we honor thee for your mercy and grace throughout the session that we've gone through. We are praying that, God, you may keep us safe throughout the night and you may protect us up to morning, that we may partake our duties diligently. We pray and thank you for our facilitators who have done a good job. May you bless them with more knowledge, that God, they may guide us to become professional teachers. This we pray, believing and trusting in Jesus' name.
Amen. Now, as we finish, you can unmute, make noise, clap, appreciate the facilitators.
Amen. Thank you, Dr.
Yes, work well done.
Thank you, Dr.
Hello, very good presentation.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you for teaching as well.
Bye. Bye.
Good night.
Okay, good night.
Good night, and
bye.
Is the yesterday's form? The participants form for yesterday. Some of us were not able to get
Good presentation.
No problem, just register.
Okay, thank you.